Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joko, and I'm an IELTS instructor who likes to make videos with people's essays and talking about them because I'm too lazy to type. No, I just think it's more efficient this way. And I feel like you're sitting next to me while I explain to you some things about your essay. So what do we have today? Well, here's my graphic, and this is our essay, our question. There has been a dramatic growth in the number of people studying at universities in the last few decades. Let's see this as a positive trend, which raises the general education. Others fear that it is lowering, the quality of education. Okay, now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the increase in student numbers at university? There's our question. This must be from a general training test because in a academic IELTS question, you would always have, do the advantages or disadvantages outweigh, which is more? Now this does not have that, it just asks you to discuss them. But what about the first part? All right, note, it does answer a very important question in the first couple of sentences. Who and when, where are we talking about? Now the when is in the last few decades. How many is a few? 2 to 4 maybe, yeah. Where? At universities. Universities. And like around the world, well, there's no statement to the opposite, so yeah, I would have to say. Okay, so now this next bit where it gives you a couple of reasons, so it gives you an advantage right away, okay, and then it gives you a disadvantage right away. I don't know how normal this is that they would include that, because that reads more like a discuss both views and give your own opinion essay. This question is probably adapted from one of those types of questions. And if you had that, discuss both views, your essay must do certain things that this one does not need to do. I mean, do I have to talk about this part right here? Does this have to be, okay, so what's one advantage? It raises the general level, okay, general, within the community, okay, not for the individual, but the overall. And the other fear is that more people means that the quality of the education is lower. In this question's original form, as they discuss both sides, you would need to talk about both of those. But like I said, it's been adapted, probably by Test Big, or I'll look it up afterwards. Anyway, it's a long time to talk about the question. Let's move on to the answer. My corrections are color-coded. Pink is, or purple is task response. Are you addressing the question? Anything that you write in your essay that is about something else other than what the question is asking about is not just a waste of time. You will be marked down because you're not addressing the question fully. No other stuff. Coherence and cohesion. Coherence means how easy it is to read. There's some big examples in here where it becomes difficult. Cohesion is the connection of ideas. Lexical does not mean using as many big words as you have memorized and including them in your writing. No. Let's just throw a bunch of words on the page and see if they work. No. You need to be accurate in your lexical choices. Man, this is 4 minutes in. Grammar is grammar. Okay. Number is a singular thing. The number, a number. Number is singular. So what kind of verb goes with that? Has. Tertiary education institutes. Here's my first example of trying to use as many big words. Now, someone's told you that you must paraphrase the question. And yes, increase dramatically, dramatic growth, that's okay. But universities and tertiary education institutes. Institutions? Institutes. That is awkward, to say the least. What the heck does that mean? Don't worry, you'll have plenty of chances in the essay to show that you know how to use the word tertiary. It's a good word, but don't throw it into just anything. Over the last century. Are we talking about the last century? Century would be 100. During this century, maybe. Few could be as little as 2, but not over the last century. Okay, very confusing referencing here. This is part of coherence. Okay, some people argue that it has improved the education level among communities. Okay, it. What is it? Huh? Okay, the last century. The last century has improved it. Tertiary education institutes. Huh? Oh no, the increase. See, here in the question, there has been a growth. Growth is referred to as a noun. Okay? Here, you're using a pronoun, and to do so, it needs to be replacing a noun. And there is no noun coming before it that means the increase. Okay, what happened to general level of education? Among communities. No, not among communities. It says within the community. No, we don't. That does not collocate well. And can't you think of another way to say community? Something like, and why the same order? Why not say, universities have seen increasing numbers of students as compared to previous decades. Something like that. Some people argue it, while others believe, as they will discuss, both the aspects of this trend. Noun of noun. So you want the positive aspects and negative aspects of this trend. Undoubtedly. Don't say undoubtedly. Show me. This isn't an opinion essay, so it's not so bad. Excuse me. The sunrise. And once again, rise is singular. It's the second time you've made that mistake. Singular goes with has. Now, if you make a mistake once, it's okay. It's called a slip. When you make it twice, that's bad. When you make it 3 times, and we'll see if you have subject-verb agreement errors in here. If it happens 3 times, the same mistake or type of mistake, it's considered that you don't know that grammar, which will severely impact your score. Okay, well, one major production. No, we don't produce people. We produce things. We don't. And I've done some italics on several words: pupils, entrepreneurs, plethora. These are examples of you're putting words into your essay because you know them, not because they fit what you're trying to say. You don't mention, here. Then you go on to talk about doctors and engineers. Okay, and are those entrepreneurs? No. And really, I never, at university, I don't remember there ever being a subject called entrepreneurship, the Entrepreneur Class 101. Oh, plethora, 10,000. Plethora means 10,000. Right, on fields, which, consequently, okay, why will increase? Okay, note, when are we talking about? Well, in the question, there has been. It's already happened. Okay, and it's here present tense, which raises. It's happening. Here is lowering. That's present continuous. So why is it will increase? Is increasing. And this is incoherent. Man force required for a country's, which will increase the. Oh, I know what you mean to say. Not man force. You meant to say the manpower, I guess. The workforce. Workforce. That's what you're looking for. Workforce, and not required. Available for a country's economic social development. For example, in the modern era, you just put that in there. Why do you capitalize doctors and engineers? do not take a capital. Those count as grammar errors. Are being trained. Oh, good. Present continuous. In the modern era. You know what that means? The modern era began about 1915. It's like the last 100 years. Are being trained in specialized, such as, which will definitely improve. Why future? Are you, again, I think you're trying to put a conditional in there. If we train more doctors and engineers, it will improve the healthcare system and infrastructure. Once again, put in the sentence, not because it expresses something that you're trying that's important, really. Okay, I mean, how is that an advantage? And then there's no connection between this and this. This I can't read it. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have the talkie guy say it. Come on, talkie guy.
The creation of healthy competitive environment would be an added advantage, as competitiveness encourages students to master their subjects and secure valuable positions in public and private sectors of society to serve the country.
I did that because it's incoherent. It's really hard to read. Not sure what you're saying. The creation of a healthy competitive environment. You put that in there because you know the words. Would be, why is it past tense? Or why are you using a conditional? Master their subjects and secure valuable positions in public and private sector is just put in because you know it. Hey, I don't join the private sector to serve my country. I do it for me. Therefore, more students. Wait, why is it more productive? Huh? Okay, once again, a number of drawbacks are associated with an increase in the count of students in universities. Not very coherent. It's hard to read. But by this point, we know we're talking about institutes. You can just say graduating. Okay, now this directly contradicts what you said here. Up above, we didn't forget, okay, that this is more productive. Okay, you just said more students means a more productive population. But here you say the more people, that means the less job opportunities, and it will hurt the country's economy. Okay, no. Less availability of job opportunity. In other words, the availability, if you're going to use other words, use other words. Don't use the same words. For vacancy, advertised. Why do we need this? We don't really look at the newspaper anymore to find jobs, do we? Once again, would increase. Future. This is talking about the present. So, what's going to happen? A negative strain on the economy. It'll both improve and hurt the economy. Secondly, oh look, now we're getting to what the question talked about. Secondly, the quality of overall education would be compromised as there it is, that's the third time, number of pupils per class would increase, comma, thereby hindering professors to cater. Hindering professors in catering to the personalized needs of every student. Did you ever meet a professor who catered to the personalized needs of every student? It doesn't happen. Each student. And diminishing subject quality. Biology, you have been reduced in your quality. No, the quality of the education. The presence, why capitalized P, no capital, of a very common grammar error here, happens all the time. With countable nouns like students, you use the word fewer. in the classroom, more would ensure. Hmm? Hmm. Okay, are we talking about the presence of better subject knowledge and understanding? It's not talking. It's not asking you to describe the advantages of fewer students. That's not what you're asked to talk about. In conclusion, despite having negatives, well, okay, you're summarizing among humans, as opposed to aliens. Don't use humans. This isn't a medical piece. Hence, it is a positive trend. Oh, you almost got away without giving your opinion. The question does not ask for you to say which is, if it's positive or negative. It should have. I mean, this question has been adapted. All right, Ahmed, it was pretty mean to you there. You have the tools in your toolkit here. A good vocabulary, a basic understanding of how to put together a paragraph. Okay, that's good. Your grammar isn't horrible. It's, you make the common mistakes. However, like many of your peers, probably the most common thing I see with people on the internet, mostly from South Asia, is that you have been told you need to use as many big words as you can, and you try to put them into sentences where they don't belong. Instead of doing that, don't let your writing be shaped by the words you choose. No, let your writing shape those words. Don't be shaped by them. Okay? All right. Good luck to you in the future.